Hello everyone and welcome back to part 2 of Turing Complete. Today we're going to be continuing where we left off. That is not where we left off. We're going to be continuing where we left off right after finishing all the basic logic where we covered the NOT logic gate, the OR logic gate, the AND, the NOR, the NAND, the NUXOR and XOR, as well as the AND and the OR logic gates that were like the bigger version of them, 3 input AND and OR logic gates. That is what we covered last time. If you are interested in the functionality of those logic gates, I'd say go check out the last video. There's timestamps with every single logic gate, so you're able to get a good understanding of how those work without having to waste any of your time. Alright, so now we're going to be taking a look at the arithmetic or memory. I think we're going to go with arithmetic here and see what we can do. Alright, so using a maximum of 3 components, output positive or 1. Only when an odd number of inputs are 1. So this might be a little bit confusing for you if you had not seen the last video or if you don't know any binary or logic gates. But if you do, or if you have seen the last video, then you should be right on track with us. Alright, so just the recording cut out real quick, but what you guys missed like 2 minutes of thinking. What I was basically thinking at first was we have 4 inputs, that's way too many. So I just wanted to subdivide these into 2 different input sections, and the reason why I was thinking XOR is here we're looking in a case where we just want that if we have one input that is positive, we want a positive output, right? So if you look at the XOR truth table, we'd notice that it only is positive when there's one and exclusively one input that is positive. So using that fact, and if we connect these here, over here, we connect these up like that. Now we're going to get something that if one of these is positive, it'll be positive, and if the second one's positive, it'll be negative, right? That might cause us issue because then what if we have 2 positive things here? That's 1 too many, right? So what I was thinking is we could finish this up with an OR. But an OR is going to stay positive if there's both of these that are positive, right? So we need to find something that when both inputs are positive, something I don't think it exists, when both inputs are positive, we want it to be negative. Wait, what do we need again? Yeah, we want it to be green, green in the middle, and that's it. Wait, can't I just XOR this then? Am I tripping? Would this work? This would work. This should work. Alright, so that actually made a lot of sense. I'm surprised I didn't figure it out earlier, but yeah. If one of these, I was trying to figure out what could help here in as the last section. But yeah, XOR is again the answer, as it will only take the output if only one of them, exclusively one, is positive or 1. Right? So that finishes the odd number of signals section. And wait, let's actually just see what the cool noise as well. Zoom out a bit and let's see what's next. Double trouble. Because we are so technologically advanced, we have machines fold our socks. Do we not have that? Unfortunately, the circuit that detects sock pairs broke on the machine. This level has 4 inputs. Output green when 2 or more of them are green. Again, green is 1 or positive. So it says don't overthink this level. Now it's funny. So we want to output green when 2 or more of them are green. Oh, when just 2 or more, exclusively 2 or more. So if there's just 1, then no. That's actually interesting. Okay, wait, 2 or more. I am starting to overthink this level. I am not sure how that would be done. I'm kind of thinking XOR in the sense that it would recognize if one input, but what if both inputs? What about an AND? An AND's only going to be positive if an AND will only be positive if both inputs are positive, right? So by subdividing it like this, but what if we have something from here and there? That's an issue. Oh, actually I have a better idea. How about this? Remember we made the big ANDs last episode? Oh, they removed it. Where's our big and? That's funny. I was just gonna put a giant and. What I'm saying here is we had something similar to this 3-input OR, but it was a 3-input and. I don't know why it's not here right now. I thought we had access to it, but I guess no. That is interesting. Oh, that's cool. We can pick the wire cutter. I like purple. What's the point of that? Honestly, I'm kind of just like messing her about at this point because this is very useless. Okay, excuse me while I pack my things and figure myself out real quick. So after quite a bit of brain agony, I was able to do it, and I'm just gonna explain to you how I did it. This one was a lot more complicated, which, you know, considering they said don't overthink it, I think it's quite funny. We're going to be taking a look at the solution after I explain this, just to see if I overcomplicated it or if this was the only way to do it. So, I'm just going to delete all this. Hopefully I remember it very well. And then, okay. So, the main point that we were getting to here was we had 4 inputs obviously, and we wanted only only starting 2 inputs being positive, that we would want our output to be positive as well, right? So you need 2 or more inputs to be positive so that you can get a positive output, otherwise it should be negative. So the first thing I thought of was we have XOR gates, which will tell us if one of these are positive, right? So now we know for a fact if only one of these is positive. So just to put it in perspective, if there is one thing that is positive going into these XOR gates, then it will output a positive number, right? So that was covered in the sense of, okay, we know if one is positive and that's it. So that means that if both of these are positive, that means that only one is positive in each side, which is great, which means that we have a total of 2, so we can put an AND into that here. So that means we have a total of 2, and an AND won't accept anything except 2 positives, because if you only have 1 positive, but then you're running into the risk of, I'll just finish up what I was saying. If you only have 1 positive on each side, it's a total of 2 going into ANDs. That means that we have 2 positives, and that'll be perfect, right? The only issue is here is, what if you have a total of 2 positives? That would ruin your AND, right? Because the XOR, if there's 2 positives, will not make the right decision. It will tell you that it will obviously make the right decision. That's what it's designed to do. But if 2 of these inputs are positive indeed, then the XOR will give you a negative output. So we're stuck here for a second. But then we just realized that we can just make more workarounds, right? So I noticed here that they gave us a 3-way OR. So what we have to do is make something that accommodates for the other 2 situations, which is if you have 2 positive inputs in the same on the same side, right? So let's assume we have the same positive input on this side. Oh no, in that case our AND is useless and our OR outputs negative when it should be outputting positive, because we have a total of 3, which is more than 2, right? So what we do is we come here and we create an AND function, or we add an AND logic gate that takes both of these at the same time, right? So the only time this is going to be positive, because remember we're going into an OR, right? So the OR will take any positive, so if any one of these 3 inputs is positive, it will output positive. So we need to be sure that whatever is giving it a positive input is 110% the right thing, meaning 2 or more. So by having an AND gate here, which has a truth table that only outputs positive when it has 2 positive inputs, we can guarantee that we have a minimum of 2 or more positive inputs, right? So then we just do the same thing at the top, right? So we'd have the same scenario, but if 2 or more positive inputs occur, we'd also have a positive flow, right? And so here we covered all 3 possible situations, right? So what happens if there's 2 positive inputs? Well, the AND will take care of that. Here, let me just center this properly. So the AND will take care of that. Okay, what if we have only one positive and 1 in the other section? Well, the XORs and AND will take care of that together. Alright, then what if we have 2 positive on the other side at the bottom? The AND will take care of it. So we run this through, and there we go. Double trouble. That one was a lot harder. I'm just going to take a look at the solution real quick and tell you guys if I did it in the most optimal way. If not, I'll explain the most optimal way. Hey guys, welcome back. We're just looking at what solution they had proposed. So what they did is they just created every single possible scenario of the four inputs being together. So an AND, as you know, will only give you a positive output if both inputs are positive, right? So if you just run it through and you create every single possibility, so just imagine it through here, follow my mouse. If we mix these two together, that's one combination, which was done here. And then second combination, third combination. Now remember, we've already done these combinations, so we can start here. We don't have to go up because we already did this one. So we did 1, 2, 3. We already did the first one here. So that after 3, we go 4, 5, and then all that's left is the last one, 6. That's why I have 6 AND logic gates, giving you every single possibility of there being two positives going into the same one, and then putting these into the ORs and then into a final OR just to, make it one final output. And of course, they're going to link it in. That works, but they have 9 logic gates. I believe we only had, what was it? Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 versus 9. I think our situation is quite, I think this looks nice and probably less complex and would probably take less time, which in computer architecture is quite important. So this might be the better answer, and you might even find better answers online than both of the ones you just saw. Anyways, back to the architecture. So remember, we're doing arithmetic work here. So this is my favorite pastime. Converting decimal into binary under time pressure. Actually, I've not converted decimal into binary in a long time. Not that long, but it's like 4 or 5 months. It must be level 3 to pass. Okay. You made it to level 1, right, Therese? So, as I remember, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8. Was it 8? I think 8 was the biggest number, and then... No. It goes all the way up to 10. 10 is equivalent to A, and then it goes A, B, C, D, E. And E is 16, right? Yeah. So, we're gonna see right now. 1, 2, 3, 1 plus 2. 13, so 13 in binary. I'm kind of confused right now. I didn't even submit oh, we're out of time. What did he mean by 13? Okay, we know that 1. We know 2. 3 is both of these together. 6 is these two. 11. I think that's 8 and 1. No? Oh, it's 16 and 1. Wait, no, is it? Okay, I just refreshed myself very quickly and I'm 100% sure of how we can do this. But just a quick lesson, very quickly. So remember when I told you guys that red is 0 and green is 1? Well, it's the exact same thing here, right? So I just want to bring your attention to how would we do number 10, alright? It would be by activating this one and this one, right? You'd get 10, okay? Also turns out I just couldn't count properly, which is a bit embarrassing, but we'll keep that for another day. What matters right now is that this means that 8 is turned on, that it's green, or that it is 1. Same thing for 2. Now you're probably wondering, what does this mean exactly? This doesn't really make too much sense, right? So I'm going to bring you to what is 10 in binary, okay? It'd be 0b, 10, 10, 1, 0, 1, 0. Now you can completely ignore 0b. 0b is a representation. It means we are speaking in binary numbers. So if you tell your computer 0b, it will understand that you're speaking to it in a binary number and not actually 1010 when you put down 1010. Right? So forget the 0b for now. And what matters is this 1010. So if you realized the 1, as you remember, that's our green. And then we have 0, which is our red. And then same thing here. Green and then red, right? So if we look here again, 1, 0, 1, 0. Green, red, green, red. Same exact thing. Now you're probably wondering, so why is it 1, 2, 4, 8? So you're going to notice these are actually powers of 2. So how binary numbers are done is under here, you can imagine that there is a 2. And according to what number of digit this is, so let's just imagine right here, there's a 0 here, a 1 here, because this is the first ever number, so it's 0. This is the second number, so it's 1. So like, let's imagine we're counting these numbers from right to left, starting at 0, right? So it'll be 0, 1, 2, 3. And under here, we're going to have a 2, and it's going to be power whatever the count number is, right? So it's going to be 2 power 0, so it'll be 1. 2 power 1, so it'll be 2. 2 power 2, 4. 2 power 3, 8, and so on and so forth. I remember back in university, I learned up until like 400 something or even higher. It was not the best time, but that is what binary numbers is in a nutshell, right? So just remember that. And this is kind of the representation that I wanted you guys. So it's the same thing here, where you have the 2 power something and the count number above it. That's how I like to envision it. Hope that works for you guys. So, let's get this race going. 1 in binary is 1. Then we have 2. 3 is 2 plus 1, or in other words, 0, 0, 1, 1. 2. 15. So I think that's all of these. Yep. 7. You'll start like learning them as you go, like subconsciously. So this is just this one. Yes. 0 is nothing. 13 would be 8, 4, 2. No, 8, 4, 2, 1. 5. 13 again. 24. Okay. And 16. 2. 11. This is really testing my capabilities. That is quite funny. 56. 34. 38. 2. 12. 4. 53. Oh. No! Oh, wow. Oh, you reached level 4. Okay, I thought there was like a higher level, but we had it set up, we just didn't hit submit. My finger just wasn't fast enough, huh? Recap, hopefully you noticed there's exactly one way to write each number in binary. The value of each digit is always double of the previous digit. Yeah, you can also imagine there's just times 2. That is something that I kind of overlooked, but that is because it's the 2 power that it does make sense. Just one last thing I wanted to know, if you saw here, counting numbers is kind of easy. So whenever number they give you like 53, you're not gonna start at 64. So like that's kind of how like when you go into university or whatever states you're in and you have to just convert numbers into binary, you're always gonna start at the number previous the number that was given. So when I was given 53, I'm not gonna start at 64 because there's no minuses, right? So you start below that at 32 and then you start building your way up. So you ask yourself, 32 plus 16, will that be under or over 53? If it's under, then you include it. And that's kind of how you count, right? Alright, so let's go on here. So we're going to stick to the arithmetic side of things. So let's see what this one has to play. Counting signals. The output component of this level is binary counter. Wow, we're going to make a binary counter already. Wow. The first 3 pins correspond to 1, 2, and 4. Use the binary counter to display the number of signals. Check this hint if you get stuck. The solution for this level is not very neat and requires more components. Yikes. I prefer it when it's neat, but we're gonna see. So we're gonna make a binary counter. This is actually very exciting. So I'm gonna actually keep this for another video. Let's just take a look at this real quick. Half adder. We measure the universe with numbers, so your machine must learn to count. Treat the input as 0 or 1. The inputs, which are red and green, as 0 or 1. Yeah, they should have said this in the beginning, but you know, you already got that information from me. Depending if they are red or green. Add them together in binary, such that the result is either 0 or 1. As with normal addition, if the result cannot be described with one digit, set the carry to 1. Oh yeah, there's also this, I can't believe it's making, well, it's actually teaching you everything you need to know, equivalent of a university course, without, you know, the explanation portion. So what they want here is input and desired sum, desired carry. So this is our overall input. I just don't understand what they mean exactly here. Sum, carry. What about output? I don't understand what's happening here. I'm quite confused to what is happening. Oh wow, we're actually making a counter for it. I don't understand what sum is. Oh. We have desired sum and we have desired carry. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So our inputs, when we have 1, 1, the sum of it will be 0, and the carry of it will be 1, right? So, very simple mathematics that you took in basically kindergarten, but, or like, whatever, middle school. Whenever you have, you know, something that goes over 10, you carry it, right? So same thing here, except we don't have 10, we have zeros and ones. So you have 1 plus 1, the carry would be 1. The reason why they put the carry here is because like that's the carry coming from this inputs side, but the carry, yes, it would go like if we're actually like doing a proper multiplication, the complete sum we have is 1 1, and then this carry is actually going to go here. It'll push this one here, which will have another carry there, and then push it here, and we'll have another carry, and we'll have 1 0 0 0. That would be like the complete sum of this, and I can even prove it with by doing simple math here. So as you remember, every single one of these represents a 2 power of whatever count it is, right? So input 1 is 2, this is 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 power 2, and 2 power 3. Just for reference, 2 power 3 is 8, 2 power 2 is 4, 2, and 1, right? So if we do here, what do we have? We have 1 plus 1, so that's 2. And then we have, this would have been 2, but it's 0, so we don't count it. And here we actually have 2, so we have another 2. So that's 2 plus 2, that's 4. That I'll leave all to the side. And then here we have actually 4. So this one's activated, this one's not active, so we don't use it. So that'll be 4. We bring it with the other 4 that we had collected from these 3 numbers, and that's a total of 8. These ones are not active. But what did I tell you in the beginning? I told you that the output was going to be 1 0 0 0, right? That would be like what the output will be, like if we bring the sum and carry together, right? Which would equal out to 8. As you remember, this is 2 power 3, and obviously if there's a 1 there, then it's activated, so it would be equivalent to an 8, right? Now let's see how they want us to do this. I don't know what tick is. Tick is an interesting thing. Where's the sum? So they want our sum to be 0 1 1 0. Or in other words, I like it. So they started off with like simple color coding, and then now we can actually do it in the binaries. So 0 1 1 0 was the XOR, if you guys remember. Not sure how we're gonna do. Oh yeah, we can just do this. Right? I guess that makes sense. XOR will give us what we want. And then for the desired carrier, it needs to be 0001, which I think is the, not the NAND, the NOR. Or no, then what would it be? The AND, sorry? Yeah, the AND. The AND would do that. And there we go. So this was obviously a very simple level, but it was introducing us to actually looking at the red and green as actual binary numbers, which is great. I'm very glad they did that. Let's see if there's another easy one we could do real quick. Full adder. Actually, adder is an important thing. I kind of forgot what it was though. I'll get that to you guys in the next video, but let's see what this is about. In the previous level, we added together 2 inputs. This time we add 3. Once again, add the inputs together in binary such that the result is either 0 or 1. As with normal addition, if the result can be described with 1 digits, the carry to 1. Alright, so the desired output here is, when it's all 0, it's 0. What's funny is like we have 2 different outputs here. So it's very interesting. So for the sum, we want it so that if we only have one number, it'll be 0. Oh wait, this makes sense. Whoa, lagged a bit. So anytime there's over 2 numbers, or 3 numbers, okay, only if there's 2 numbers, then it will be 0 here and the carry will be 1. And then in other situations, okay, this is actually very interesting here. Alright, done. No, I'm getting kind of tired, so I think we're going to stop it here and we can pick that up in the next episode. I will look ahead a tiny bit. The arithmetic part might have to be divided into 2 parts. I think we'll be able to finish the rest of it in the next episode, or 3 parts, and then the memory, probably 2 more episodes. But yeah, I think that is good for today, so I'll see you guys in the next video.